I've laid off the rows with the string. I'm going to plant Silver Queen sweet corn, and I will plant one grain every 6 inches approximately. Then later on, I will thin it to stand a foot apart to start. I might add that I plant it as shallow as possible so that the moles won't disturb it. If the moles move under the grain and cause it to move, it dies. So I plant this about an inch or an inch and a half deep. I plant the seed corn in blocks of 5 rows, that is 5 short rows, so that it cross-pollinates. If you have just one row across the garden, it doesn't get proper pollination. As you may have seen on the tape, this ground was turned with the tractor, and then when it dried out, it was turned a bit wet. When it dried out, it was disked several times over. It's still not in very good shape, but here it's been tilled with the mantis tiller, and this middle part of the garden is in fairly good shape. I laid off the rows with a hoe, just going along under the string. This is Silver Queen sweet corn seed. It has been coated with some sort of fungicide to keep it from rotting in the ground. I planted an earlier block of sweet corn which has a maturity of 77 days. The Silver Queen supposedly takes 92 days, but here in Tennessee, for some reason, it's a shorter period. But I will plant another block as when this gets about 2 inches high. I'll plant another block and then another in order to have a succession of fresh sweet corn all summer. The hoe, then I'll come back and firm down just a little bit. The ground's very dry. Corn needs a good firm base, good solid foundation. See, I go about 4 or 5 grains at a time, and I go along pulling the dirt from both sides. And then I'll come back and do this. That will give it a firm seed bed. These holes I've made for my squash field, and the ground was already worked up. Then I took the tiller and pulled it backwards until it dug out these holes about 6 inches deep. What I do here is to put my secret, which is trashy old cow manure. And I put some of this in the bottom of each hole. This helps the squash to bear longer and be healthier instead of commercial. I'm going to make a little hill over each hole, and then I'm going to plant about 5 seeds in each hill. Don't put fresh manure in under any kind of plant or around any kind of plant. Always use manure that has lain around and dried out and aged for a period of time. See, the tiller works the dirt up very fine. You just pull it back like this, get it all over the hole, then round it up a little bit. And make a hill. That's what you're doing. You have a flat top. These are early prolific straight-necked yellow squash, and I'm going to plant them in the hills that I just made. And what I'll do is drop 5 seeds on the hill and put one in the middle, and then I'll push them down about 1 inch, like that, with my finger. Then I'll cover them a little better. And there you have it. Now I'm going to plant 2 hills of zucchini. These are Burpee's hybrid zucchini. And I'll plant the last 2 hills with zucchinis. These are holes that I've dug to plant my tomatoes. I found that if you plant your tomatoes in deep holes with some manure, a little commercial fertilizer, and a little lime in the bottom, then plant them and put in good rich dirt around the plants, the manure and trash in the bottom will hold water, and your tomatoes will last all summer if you plant indeterminate tomatoes, that is, those that keep on growing up. Um, Here to my left is the fence that I planted, that I planted burpless cucumbers about a foot apart along that fence. And I put manure, old cow manure, in a trench, then covered it over, then ran the tiller over it, then planted the cucumber seeds along this fence. Now the reason I have the tomatoes and cucumbers along the edge of the garden is because they have to be picked in wet weather every day or so, and it saves having to walk in the mud to pick them. I'm making a row to plant beets right now, and all I do is to make about a 2-inch deep furrow along this straight line. Cameron is going to plant the seed. You want her to show you the seeds?
These are dark red beet seeds.
Ah,
Approximately 1.5 inches.
an explanatory note. Beet seeds develop in clumps. So there will be little clumps of plants sometimes, and they have to be thinned no matter how you plant them. And then they can be thinned about 4 inches apart.